Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. Hey, welcome to this episode of Loving Life. This is going to be a great episode. We're actually going to Millbrook High School. We're going to be talking to a couple of the school resource officers there, talking about what kids have to deal with that you and I probably never did. Let's go meet the officers.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
So, here we are in school in 2017, and I gotta tell you, when I was we had our challenges were getting our homework in, and every once in a while you'd have some creepy kid that would beat up on you in the playground. Kids face different things. Let's talk about that. What do you see?
Challenges I see on social media, technology, it's texting all the time. There's just so much technology. Social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, it creates a challenge for us that we can't keep up with. It's impossible.
Now, because we're in the media center, as I look around Facebook with iPads and computers, phones, man, I'd have gotten a whooping if that would have happened to me. But now it's integrated into the system.
It is. I think to compound what he stated, that there is a challenge with social media, but also the outside challenges that are not part of what kind of public school system are given access via social media into the schools. So you have the distraction of what all is taking place outside of the school now has an avenue into the school So that and many of our 14, 15-year-old kids have a challenge with that day in and day out. So they're able to keep up with everything that's taking place in the residence, taking place on television and other realms of our society that actually offer them some challenges when you're in this structured environment.
Well, and because school is just a small part of their day, they go home then, and they deal with all those things. Because there are things that we look at like bullying. And I talked about it on the playground, but here's a kid who leaves school and now it's on their Facebook or it's on their Instagram or something. There's this bullying thing. So that stuff is there.
Right. I think that exists.
You're not going to get rid of it.
I think that exists, and it depends on the individual. I think this is when the parental counseling comes in, to where each individual views and sees things different. What you say to me may not be offensive to me, but may be offensive to someone else. And if you say it about someone else, then you have the chatter to talk about what this person said and that person said. I can't believe they called this person this or this person that.
Yeah.
And then now we have versus one or two people, which may have thought it was a private conversation, you have 50 to 60 folks that are sharing with it. And then you get a call from Millbrook High School regarding some of the same thing, because that cousin is coming over here. I can't believe they said this about that. So
wow.
It actually affords some challenges for school resource officers as well as students and the faculty and staff at each school now.
Yeah, and I think most of the time as parents, we don't even think about stuff like that. That's happening behind the scenes. So what are some things that parents can do to help their kids get through that, navigate the waters?
I think parents need to monitor their child's social media accounts. They need to see what their child's texting. They need to monitor their phone. They need to have limits on when they can text. We have Wi-Fi here in the school. If we didn't have Wi-Fi in the school, that none of the kids would be on their cell phones. They depend on that Wi-Fi in the Wake County school system. But I think parents could help us by monitoring the social media big time. That would help out a lot.
And that's part of parental responsibility. I mean, are there times where people say, well, there's an infringement of privacy and that kind of stuff, but you got to watch out for your kids.
Yes, there's some predators out there. There's, I know I went to a seminar where the instructor talked about a site called Pornhub that was very, very, like kids had access to that, and you have to monitor that. They can go on there and see explicit stuff, and that's where they have to really monitor their social media and them being on the internet. We monitor it here at school. We'll have kids that will bring their cell phones to the administration, and we'll find inappropriate pictures, we'll find inappropriate texts, and then we have to call the parents and say, did you realize what your child was texting? Sure. Did you realize what internet site your child was on? And then it comes to light once we call the parent.
You know, when I was a kid, we had a woodworking shop next to our business, and his name was Charlie. And we used to go around the back and look in Charlie's window because he had a pinup calendar in the back. Here's a woman on a pinup calendar with a bathing suit on. And back then that was bad. Nowadays, a kid can pick stuff up and see stuff that would have killed my grandma.
Yeah, I think the 21st century student has a few more different challenges afforded to them with the avenue of social media right now, to where they have access to the worldwide internet, even when there may have been some attempts to put in to block it via parent control or school control. There was a time where school was out. We were out on inclement weather break. I look up and there are 5 or 6 kids standing behind my vehicle, and I get out and make them aware that school is closed. They say, yeah, we know we need the Wi-Fi. So Wi-Fi was not available at their residence, but they're out in the inclement weather trying to have access to the Wi-Fi, because that is something that is really tempting our young folks today that are trying to matriculate through school, whether it be at our local businesses now that offer Wi-Fi. You can go in almost any coffee shop, any music store that sells music, audio store, and have access to Wi-Fi, and they utilize it for a number of different things. It used to be if I wanted to get Mike's shoes, I would ask him, can we trade those shoes? You wear mine today. They're swapping shoes and trading, so you deal with a lot of other things. It's a new environment that we are tasked with trying to help maintain an environment that's conducive to both teaching and learning.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah. Listen, it's a brand new world. It's a whole new world. So here are resource officers that are here watching what they do. And that's a great resource for you. So if you have questions, call your school and make an appointment. Talk to these guys. Maybe they can help you navigate the waters. All right, don't change the channel because we got a whole lot more coming up.
You're watching Loving Life with Dr. Weir.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Hey, we're back at Millbrook High School. I'm with Officers Hicks and Thomas. They're the school resource officers here, and they help your kids stay safe. They help them navigate the waters that probably you and I never had to. So one thing that came up that, again, I never dealt with was this thing called sexting. I mean, to me, texting was something, and now they got sexting, which is what?
Sexting is when you send inappropriate pictures, videos to someone else. You distribute it on Instagram, Snapchat. It's any kind of sexual act or any appropriate picture of a body part,
Okay,
a
so
private part.
Now, help me out here. Because you're talking about pictures, videos. Does that also mean, like, in text form, story form? Is that considered anything, or is it just pictures and videos?
Pictures and videos,
Okay.
I would say, are
Sorry.
the main thing that get disseminated, which means to be sent out. Just for instance, we've had an incident here at Millbrook High School where a student disseminated an inappropriate video, and that video surfaced to other students. And he did not know at the time that when he disseminated that, he committed several felonies, which was considered child pornography. So we had to call the student in. He got a school suspension. And of course, on the criminal side, he was charged with a criminal offense of child pornography. And he did not realize that at the time that he sent that. So you have two things that happen. You got on the school side and you have on the criminal side.
Which is huge. So here's a kid who said something. It's not necessarily that he even took the video. He found a video and passed it on, right?
Well, in this instance, he actually filmed it on his cell phone and decided to disseminate it.
So what if some kid sees a video on whatever, takes that video and then passes it on. Does the same rule apply there?
Same thing, disseminating child pornography, and it all has to do with ages also.
Wow. So we were talking a little while ago about here are kids who do this, and they get charged with this stuff. I mean, it's not just oh, look at this.
Right.
It becomes a permanent thing at that point.
At that point, it does. Once one is entered into the judicial system, there are differences in regards to sentencing structure and what may actually take place once one is found guilty of any charge or pleads guilty. So oftentimes in these scenarios, I don't want to downplay the seriousness or the severeness of it. Most often there's something that we are able to work out with them because they do it, I guess, truth be told, out of ignorance to a degree.
Sure.
They're just being youthful. However, their youthfulness, actually now the law has stipulated what can and cannot be done or what should and should not be done. So to even have the photographs on their phones. I'm just doing this. A lot of the girls and guys like to take selfies of themselves. However, for some reasons, often you find that they do them on these electronic devices. They are stored on electronic devices. These devices end up in other people's hands due to a lot of swapping of phones and things, and then they are disseminated, as Officer Thomas has stated before, and then we end up with a case to where somebody's child, someone's loved one, these things are out there about them, and people become offended by it and bring it to the local law enforcement, and we have to act on it based on the parameters that have been put in place for us. So dealing with young student age individuals that have access to these things is another challenge that they have here and trying to matriculate through school.
So you kind of hit it, but a lot of times it's good kids who just do stupid stuff. That would be a true statement. I would say that this falls more so on the parental guidance and being able to better inform them or try to help monitor and manage what is taking place just in the privacies of your home. Yeah.
Sometimes as parents, we offer our children a little bit more, a few more liberties than maybe that was offered to myself or Officer Thomas, or maybe even yourself years ago, to where there was no closing of the doors when you were in my house. There were no, we used to try to sneak and talk on the telephone or go outside of things, where now we give them a cell phone and they have access to the World Wide Web, and we don't know what they're doing or how they're doing it, so we need to be
the door's wide
more
open.
aware. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I know I have a 13-year-old, and he has an iPod. We won't let him have a telephone yet at this point, but still, even an iPod, they can get onto the World Wide Web with that. But one of our rules is, at night when he goes to bed, that has to come into our bedroom. He can't keep it. So there are things that as a parent, and I've seen kids who are 7, 8, 9 years old with iPhones.
Yes,
Why
sir.
do you need an iPhone when you're 7 or 8 years old? I don't know. What are you doing giving your kids that? But it opens up a door that has never been opened up before. So,
I like to share with parents that you are actually purchasing them a computer that has a phone capability.
Yeah.
Because even with an iPod, you can download a telephone app and be able to make phone calls via the IVOP across those lines, so you still can do it.
You're speaking Greek to me, man.
Right, but see, that's as parents, we have to become more knowledgeable in the things that our children have access to via the device that we give them, so we can communicate with them, so they can let us know when the bus is running late, when we can meet them at the bus stop, when we can call and let them know we're on our way home. We are also providing them some additional access to those that may mean our children harm.
Wow. So maybe that you need to step in, talk to your kids, get these guys involved in your kids' lives. There may be some stuff going on that you had no clue was going on. Step in, become that parent that's responsible and says, I'm gonna do it. That's what it's all about. Don't change the channel, we got more coming up. Hi, this is Dr. Tim Weir. I treat hundreds of patients every year who've been injured in car accidents, and a lot of those could be avoided. The National Safety Council reports that cell phone use while driving, leads to 1.6 million crashes each year. That's 1 out of 4 accidents. Do yourself a favor, and if you get a text while you're driving, ignore it. And getting a carton of milk isn't going to do any good if you're dead. Drive safe. Keep loving life.
Hi, my name is Anita. I was in an accident with whiplash, medium and lower back pain, and I came to Raleigh Injury Chiropractic, and I believe it was the best thing I ever done. The staff here is wonderful. Dr. Weir is great. I couldn't ask for nothing else better in Raleigh, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to maintain my health.
Hey, I'm Dr. Tim Weir. If you want results like Anita, call our office today, 919-790-1332. Call right now.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
Hey, we're back at Millbrook High School, and we're talking with Officers Hicks and Thomas. They're resource officers here at Millbrook High School. And one of the things, again, I keep going back to this thing that these kids are dealing things that you and I never dealt with. And one of those things, and now more and more probably than ever before, are threats of violence, bombs, fights, all these attacks that have gone on, and all of those things are on social media. And those are things that your kids are having to deal with, and these are things that you guys deal with at the school. Let's talk about that.
Yes, sir. I would like, school is a part of society, so those things that take place in society are not, I would say, blocked off from the school kids. Often when you give attention via media to those scenarios, students look for ways to get the same attention. So if you're in Ohio or further Midwest in Utah or somewhere, and there are things that take place, we have access to that now. So why we can't do it here? Why we can't start an uproar? Why we can't? So you have students, as Officer Thomas stated before, using social media to spread the word and to indirectly intimidate. There's a means of accessing the fingerprints, and when I say the fingerprints, it's probably more of a digital footprint, but many of them believe they can do it and hide. So they're sitting behind their device typing in certain information, and no one can determine who it is. And the fact that we had to use additional resources to come out to protect the students at this school, or the faculty and staff, or even ourselves at the school, they don't consider that. They don't consider all the resources that come in to make sure that these things don't take place.
Because basically, your jobs are to protect these kids.
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
So if you got somebody out there who is going against that, that's your job to find that out.
Correct. We are basically the first line of defense in the school. We basically keep the school safe and sound. So any threat toward our school, we're the first ones it gets reported to. Then of course we report it to the administration. But talking about fights, when we have fights in school, of course 2,400 kids at Millbrook High School, we're going to have some fights. We're going to have some arguments.
Right.
That's just human nature. That's just kids being students. But they love to capture these fights on their phone, the video. Well, they don't realize that's good evidence for us, because we're going to get the video. We're going to identify the students in there. So I want to just let students and family know that they can get school suspension for videotaping incidents that happen inside the school. There is a consequence for videotaping a fight, because you're supposed to step in and stop the fight.
I never have understood that, because you see these fights on, or somebody getting beat up on a social media site, and I'm wondering, why are they taking the picture? Why don't they go in there and stop the fight?
Correct. I mean, put your phones down, step in, or call an adult, call a teacher, call your school resource officer, call assistant principal. Kids are getting hurt, they're getting beat up, and just videotaping it doesn't do any good. We also need help, breaking up the fight.
Yeah, there's more to life than going viral.
that level of violence, though, has been accepted in our society. We take a look at our television shows, and many of them now are reality-based television.
Right.
And so that is what is popular. That is what people are attracted to. That is attractive to our young folks as well. So they, World Star, they make videos and things hoping that they get posted on there. So now we find that this is something that is a challenge or an obstacle for them. And I don't know if the instruction from the classroom that is taking place, so again, that is something that needs to take place from the household prior to you even getting to the school, because as Officer Thomas has indicated, it is our responsibility to have a safe place that's conducive for both instructing and learning. So that's a tough task when the largest portion of the population, which is all the students, are not in line with that.
So let me ask you a question, and this is just coming off the top of my head. Are there classes that parents can take through the school system or something?
I'm not familiar that there are classes. I do know that there are sessions that are available to where some of this information is shared and discussed during open house times and the times that they have to meet with instructors in regards to what their expectations are of the behaviors, but I'm not familiar with a designated class for this type of instructions to a parent from the public school system. I think many of our faith-based locations may offer some different things that are available for them, and there may be some private entities that provide that type of instructions for parents that are having maybe some challenges with their kids participating in this activity.
Yeah. Listen, it's a whole new world. I'm telling you, I keep saying this over and over again. I'm dealing with things in my life, but it's nothing like some of these kids are having to deal with in their lives. Thanks, guys, for what you do. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you, sir.
Call these guys up and tell them that you appreciate them. Tell your school, man, thanks for keeping my kids safe. Listen, we got more coming up. Don't change that channel. Hold on. Hey, and remember, it's all about loving life.
Excuse me, sir, here, sir.
What are you guys doing? I'm just loving life.
Got it. Got it. Let's go.
Dr. Weir, sir? I don't think he's checked in yet. Third and fourth edition of the same book.
Now punch him in the snow.
I'm laughing the whole time. Y'all had cut hits out. He laughing, but he was laughing the whole time. You all right?
Yeah.
What about we got his watch? Make sure he don't let him know.